Hello, Bilishkavava here with another MTG video, posting new MTG videos every 2 days. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, why not subscribe to the channel, because it really does help. And today I want to go back to a little bit of drama, a little bit of controversy that's happening in the MTG community that I'm sure if you're part of and you like Magic, you've probably heard about it. It's about Unslaved Media and what he has found out going on in the judges program, how there's a lot of former judges that have done some terrible things, have been convicted. And he's really hammering hard on Wizards, wanting Wizards to acknowledge this, to do background checks, which I think is a perfectly valid thing to ask for. I think if you're a judge, you're working with children, you're working with around other people, it wouldn't be bad to get background checks on these people. And Wizards have been deflecting and not really talking about it. Now, I saw a video by MTG Lion, another YouTuber here. I've seen videos also by Desolated Magic, and also videos by Unsleep Media. And they're all asking one question. Why doesn't the community talk more about this? Why doesn't Brian from Tolarian Community College and Wedge from the Mana Source talk about this? Or even the Command Zone. Why don't they talk about this? And it's actually quite weird that no one actually thinks about this. Why should they talk about it? Now, this is just me coming at this objective. I have no problem with Unsleep Media, MTG Lion, Desolated Magic. I have no problem with Tolarian Community College, Wedge, the Command Zone. I have no problem with any of these people. They don't even know who I am. I'm a nobody. But it comes down to, we just face facts, let's just look at this objectively. Wedge, the Command Zone, and Tolarian, they don't like MTG headquarters. They don't like Unsleep Media. They don't like Jeremy. They're not friends with him. They don't like him. They actively pushed back against Jeremy due to the whole Christina cosplay situation. And Wedge has often gone after MTG, and MTG has gone after Wedge and the Professor. So the Professor and Wedge, the Mana Source, don't like Unsleep Media. They don't like him. So they would not do anything to bring light to him. They don't want to get involved with him. They don't want to give him any good promotion. By them acknowledging that what Unsleep Media is doing is true, this is going on, there is a problem with the judges, there should be background checks, they're actively promoting Unsleep Media's whole crusade. They don't want to do that. They don't like Unsleep Media, so they're not going to promote him. They're not going to even talk about this. They don't want to talk about this. None of them are going to talk about this, and it's stupid to actually think that they would, because they're not going to do it, because they don't like Unsleep Media. This whole situation, if it had been brought up by someone else, if let's say Rudy from Alpha Investment was doing this whole crusade, figuring out that there was a problem with the judges and there should be background checks, then maybe Brian from Tolarian Community College would talk about it. But because it's Unsleep Media talking about this, he's not going to talk about it. He doesn't want to talk about it. The same thing as the card quality. When there was a problem with the card stock and the cards were warping, Unsleep Media was the first to talk about this. Tolarian from Community College didn't want to talk about it. Brian didn't want to talk about it. He was eventually forced into it. In fact, he did a video, a spoiler video, where he actually made fun of people who were asking him to talk about the card quality. He actively made fun of all of us players that were talking about how bad the card quality was. And eventually, after being constantly asked, why don't you talk about card quality? Why don't you talk about card quality? And he got the okay from Wizards. Wizards said, okay, now you can talk about it because we're fixing the card quality, so now you can talk about it. Then he did a video talking about card quality. So he never wanted to talk about card quality due to the fact that Jeremy was talking about card quality. Unsleep Media was talking about card quality, and he doesn't want to promote Unsleep Media. They don't like him. So that's the first thing. Everyone should understand that they're never going to talk about it because they don't like Unsleep Media. The second thing, which is probably the most important thing, besides not liking Jeremy from Unsleep Media, it's money. It comes back down to money. Okay? We've got to think Wedge, the Mana Source, Tolarian from Brian from Tolarian Community College, and the Command Zone, all of them are heavily sponsored by Wizards of the Coast. Heavily sponsored. They get free trips, they get free promotion, they get free product, they get paid. So there's a lot of incentive to just shut up and do what you're told. Just shut up, ignore it, and just listen to what the company. If the company says, we're not talking about this, we're not talking about this problem with the judges, or perceived problem with the judges. I'm not sure how bad this problem is. I know that he's finding a lot of past judges that haven't been DCI banned like Jeremy has been. So who knows how big the problem is, but background checks is something that Wizards of the Coast doesn't want to talk about. They don't want people talking about background checks for their judges. They don't want to acknowledge that judges are even part of the Wizards of the Coast hierarchy, or even that they've got anything to do with the game. Wizards has already said that they're volunteers, judges are volunteers, they have nothing to do with Wizards of the Coast of Hasbro. So they're distancing themselves as much as they can from the judges. So clearly Wizards doesn't want to talk about this. They don't want to talk about background checks for judges. They don't want to talk about Jeremy's crusade. And the other people, I'm talking about Tolarian Community College, Mana Source, Command Zone, they are heavily sponsored by Wizards and they don't want to lose their sponsorship. I'm going to tell you right now, it's much better being in the circle than outside of the circle. You want to be in the circle. Everyone wants to be in the circle. Because if you're in the Wizards circle, heavily promoted by Wizards, you get free product to open, you get spoilers of cards to spoil and get views on your YouTube, you get free trips to HasCon, that's pretty good, you get trips all over to Pro Tours, free trips, you get heavily promoted by them, you get free product, you have opportunities to go to the Command Zone, like Wedge and Brian went, just to play a game of Magic and be sponsored and promoted and heavily talked about. And then Brian now from Tolarian is going around the world paid by Wizards. He's going to London, he's going to all the GPs. That's a fantastic opportunity. You don't want to lose that. Once you're in that circle, you're basically a yes man. If Wizards says, we're not talking about this, you ain't talking about that. And I can't blame them. Listen, as much as I want this crusade, as much as I think background checks is probably a good thing for the judges, I can't blame Brian or Wedge or the Command Zone guys. I can't blame them for not wanting to talk about this. The same way as they didn't want to talk about bending card quality because they don't want to lose the favor. They don't want to not go to HasCon for free. They don't want to get promoted by Wizards. I mean, who doesn't want a free trip to the Pro Tour and you're up there on stage talking with the commentators, getting paid? Of course you want that. Any Magic YouTuber eventually wants that. So I can't blame them for not wanting to talk about this. As shitty as it might sound, I know a lot of people might not agree with this. I know a lot of people might say, no, they should talk about it. They should go out after Wizards. They should put themselves in front of everything. Let's not forget that most of these people, like Brian from Tolarian Community College and Wedge from the Mana Source, they're living off YouTube. They're living off their Magic the Gathering YouTube. So they can't risk annoying Wizards and losing everything. They can't risk it. So they're just going to toe the line. They're not going to talk about it. They don't like Jeremy, Unsleep Media. They don't care about MTG Lion or Desolator Magic. And they don't want to lose Wizards' favor. So that's why they don't talk about it. And that's why they're not going to talk about it. And it's absolutely crazy to think that they would. So that's my opinion. That's my thoughts. That's what I think's going down. That's why I think they're not talking about it. Am I right? Am I wrong? Post down in the comment sections. Tell me if I'm a complete idiot. Tell me if what I'm saying is complete garbage. I can take it. Post down in the comment sections. Please do not forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. I'm posting new MTG content every couple of days. So if you like what you see, if you like what you hear, why not subscribe to the channel? So that's about it. Belish Kavava. Ow.